with DP and J.
There's California money, and it's a different kind of money. Hollywood money just is spent differently because it's turned over and created so in full. And oh, by the way, it's the right kind of money when it comes to, because we're in the era now of name, image, and likeness.
Mm-hmm.
And the California schools have that better than everybody else.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The 40th annual Cornhusker State Games has concluded, and it was another remarkable year. The Cornhusker State Games featured 70 sports for athletes of all ages and abilities with more than 7,000 participants. Check out results from all events at cornhuskerstategames.com, and remember, make plans to participate next year if you didn't this year, and especially if you did. Thanks again to our partners, Nebraska Orthopedic Center, Pepsi Cola, Nebraska Medical Association, and Farmers Mutual of Nebraska.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NEBCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Oh boy, we back like we never left. This is On the Block. Austin Norman and Eric Strickland with you, brought to you by NEBCO. All sorts of good stuff going on at NEBCO. You can check it out at nebcoinc.com.
That part.
Stricky, I said to the guys, I kind of felt like I was coming off of, like, I don't know, like just being a bench warmer, right? Mop up duty with our guys in Indianapolis. You're coming off the All-Star break. You were detached. You were off. You were out of it. Yeah. Vacation, whatever it was. Welcome back, my friend.
I wish I could say it was that, but that's the thing about being an entrepreneur. You the work never stops. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I took that time. I didn't take it for granted. Obviously, I think I went to the gym. I continue to keep my body, trying to keep body and mind right. Same routine: wake up, read, do some grounding, do some walking. And but more importantly, I just was out there for Global Open Wound Care. I was out there, meeting with home health care agencies and facilities and some assisted living facilities, and just talking and just letting them know that we have an available thing here to work with people that are unfortunately experiencing a part of their life by way of sometimes diabetics or diabetes or other things. Some podiatrists, deal with open wounds that is just where there's not enough blood to be able to get to certain places, and ultimately these wounds just won't close. And so we do grafting and making sure that grafts are done by way of amniotic stem cells, which is by healthy, no aborted fetuses or anything like that. That's not what we do, but it's contracted, and we found that it's a return rate, man, that 90% heal rate. And we do have synthetics and we have other things, but making these connections and making sure that people can stay at home, Austin, and not necessarily have to go to these clinics or go to the hospital. Some people just don't like that. They, they're comfortable in their homes, and therefore we like partnering with these agencies because they have them. They're dealing with them, but end up having to refer them out, send them away, and we keep them home. We keep them in their place wherever they're living. And so that's what I was doing, man. I was out hustling, just up in different places. And probably next week we're gonna head out a little further west. So if you see Stricky at a restaurant, or
head out
like
to
that,
LA.
We're gonna head out to like Kearney and Grand Island. We're gonna head out there and make some connections as well. I might shout out my boy Tom Wall.
Hey,
maybe shout him out when I'm out there, Yeah,
bring him on the show.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, maybe I have to do that. Tom Wall has to come back on, man. We'll have him back on someday.
Hey, speaking of Nebraska basketball, a little bit of news here, Strick. Seamus McKnight, the SID, sent it out today. Gavin Griffiths underwent a right wrist procedure. That is his shooting wrist. It'll sideline him for the rest of summer camp. Rumor has it he'll be back by September when workouts resume for the team. Not exactly what you want to hear You'd rather get it out of the way in the offseason than during the season. But for a guy who I think is expected to be a 3-and-D player on the wing for Nebraska, just how important is that right wrist for a shooter? We'll go into rehab. Listen,
it's especially when you're a shooter and that's what you do. It affects your range. Sometimes it's going to take time to be able to get back into the slot, because if it's anything off, it can change your release points and different things. So you've got to literally do the work to make sure your flexibility and all of that, because that's where your range comes from. Your range don't come from your legs. Your range comes from your wrist. How much pop you have on that, and so it can be it can have an effect. And I hope that it doesn't. I feel bad that what did they say happened? We just
didn't get much of an update in terms of what happened, just that he had a right wrist procedure. He's done for the summer, should be back come September.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Just he's got to do the work though, because it can change some things.
We'll keep our ears to the ground on that, keep you updated on it. We have been, of course, hearing from our guys in Indianapolis all week, hearing from all sorts of people across the Big Ten Conference. Matt Rhule had a lot to say. I think there's a lot that we can dive into here over the next half an hour or so. So we're going to go to break. When we get back, we're going to play some of the best things that we heard Matt Rhule say, some of the most important discussions and talking points that he brought up and was asked about. He's Eric Strickland. I'm Austin Norman. We'll tell you what Matt Rhule had to say at Big Ten Media Days, give you our thoughts on it when we get back here to On the Block. Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
The 40th annual Cornhusker State Games has concluded, and it was another remarkable year. The Cornhusker State Games featured 70 sports for athletes of all ages and abilities, with more than 7,000 participants. Check out results from all events at cornhuskerstategames.com, and remember, make plans to participate next year if you didn't this year, and especially if you did. Thanks again to our partners, Nebraska Orthopedic Center, Pepsi Cola, Nebraska Medical Association, and Farmers Mutual of Nebraska.
Rhule's Jewelry is excited to be celebrating 65 years. 65 years of so many incredible memories, celebrating with each of your special moments. In celebration of the 65th Rhule's Jewelry anniversary, we will be offering up to 40% off all engagement rings and all diamond fashion jewelry. The excitement doesn't stop there. Rhule's Jewelry is also offering 18 months, 0% interest and $0 down financing on all qualifying purchases. Rhule's Jewelry has always been known for incredible customer service, one of the largest selections of engagement rings, and don't forget about the on-site jeweler. Come celebrate with us at Rhule's Jewelry, your one-stop diamond shop with exclusive Levian jewelry, Pandora Charm jewelry, and more. All at Rhule's inside Gateway Mall.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today. Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Hi, it's Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and maybe the biggest savings in the Midwest are happening right now at Koppel. When you buy a new GMC or Chevrolet anywhere else, you might be paying too much. But right now, we're going to give you over $10,000 off list or 1.9% APR on select new Chevrolets or GMCs. So please give us a shot before you buy anywhere else. Please stop in the dealership or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. Must trade and finance with a roof credit.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln. What a day. I could sure use an afternoon pick-me-up. Hold up. The new 93.7 The Ticket location has a milk, coffee, and tea inside? Oh, yeah. This is a game changer.
Need an afternoon pick-me-up? How about a coffee or smoothie on your way to work? Stop by the Ticket Mill location on 1040 O Street to get your go-to drink or try out our new game day drinks exclusive to the Ticket Mill location. We know it'll make your day a million times better.
You already know that Select Plumbing takes care of all your plumbing needs, including water heaters, faucet repairs, leaks, drips, sump pumps, and more. Now, they're able to help you with your heating and air conditioning as well. Select Plumbing has recently expanded into residential heating and air, and they're excited to bring this new service to their complete list of plumbing services. Call to book an appointment today at 402-560-6197 or go to selectplumbinginc.com. Serving Lincoln, Seward, Milford, and the surrounding areas. Come enjoy a show of the Midwest's best MMA on Saturday, August 10th at the Complex, the former location of Champions Fun Center. 9 fights are scheduled for the night, including professional lightweight and welterweight bouts, and the main event of Donnie Bush versus Micah Washington in the professional welterweight championship bout. Doors open at 6 p.m. with first bout at 7 p.m. Learn more about the MMA fighters and buy tickets at thecomplexlincoln.com.
Get ready, Husker fans. The Big Red Preview is coming soon. Join us Saturday night, August 3rd, for an exclusive look at your Nebraska football team in action. Experience the excitement, the energy, the sights and sounds of a game day as the 2024 football season kicks off. Visit Huskers.com/tickets and bring your family, friends, and all your Big Red pride to Memorial Stadium Saturday night, August 3rd. That's Huskers.com/tickets. Brought to you by Husker Athletics and 1890 Nebraska. Winning tradition, future success.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Major League Baseball update. Dylan Cease has no-hit the Washington Nationals. Second no-hitter in Major League Baseball this year, I believe, was Ronel Blanco of the Houston Astros through the first one. He becomes the first pitcher since at least 1901 to go 6 or more innings and allow 0 or 1 hit in 3 straight outings. Dylan Cease dominates the Washington Nationals in a 3-0 Padres win in D.C. Let's turn our attention back to Big Ten Media Days and specifically Nebraska football. We heard a lot from head coach Matt Rhule. There's a lot to get to. Strick, do you want to talk quarterback first? Do you want to talk NIL first? Do you want to talk big picture first? What do you think?
I think it's good to start with big picture just to kind of get a little understanding of kind of the direction, because then normally as you drill down into the big picture, you want your conversations to be consistent. So that's why I'd like to see the big picture first.
Let's start with the big picture then for Nebraska. Matt Rhule described it as a football coach's dream to be at Nebraska. Why did he say that? Here's his comments.
Well, one of the things about being at Nebraska, you do get a lot of advice. I mean, Coach Osborne's there all the time to help. Coach Solich is there to help. Coach Osborne tried to warn me about the weather. He tried to warn me about the wind, and I heard it, but I didn't. It was until it was like 30 miles an hour in my face that I was like, oh, Coach Osborne wasn't lying. I think the biggest thing I regret from last year was when you're in pro football, it's kind of quiet. And there aren't bands and things like that. The crowd isn't. And we started our first 2 games last year on the road in hostile environments. Minnesota, they did a great job. They had a gold out for their first game. And so just getting readjusted to the crowd noise and the passion of the fans in the Big Ten, the atmospheres we're going to have to go into, we have to be better on the road. And so I wish I would have taken that. I would have taken that to heart and gotten that advice. But I am so blessed. I mean, I get to coach college football, and some days I've got George Darlington, legendary secondary coach. I mean, I might have Tommy Frazier or Eric Crouch. I might have Coach Osborne there. I might have Coach Solich there. Like it's a football coach's dream.
What about that, Stricky? Matt Rhule says having all those guys around getting that advice is a football coach's dream.
I would say it's always good until the rabbit gets a gun. Once it changes, it's good when it's good, but if it changes or it shifts or the wind shifts, I went last night and just checked out this movie called Twister. And
like the board game,
like the hurricane. I mean, not like the tornadoes. And in Twister, this specific lady had like a way of looking at and observing and a great feel for whether it changes, shifts, all of that.
Her joints got creaky. That's how she could tell.
I guess so. But whatever it was working. The math was mathing for her. And what happens is when you it's all going, in a direction. It's not until it shifts. You could be storm chasing and tracking and thinking you're parallel or thinking you're far enough away until it shifts and it starts to come towards you. She had an ability to kind of read that. As a coach, that's what you have to do. When the shifts begin to take place, you have to be able to understand that the shift is coming and how not to be overly combative, but how you can be more tactful in hopefully shifting it away. We've seen those videos, you and I, and there's not a story in this one, but where sharks would be coming after a diver and that thing can hurt you. It can bite you. It can kill you. It can eat you. And they have a way of understanding its moves and they'll get it on its head and redirect it, like on the snout of his nose or whatever you call it. So that's what you have to do as a coach. You're in the danger zone. You're in the middle of the mosh pit, so to speak. But there's ways that you're going to have to navigate it. You're going to have to read. You're going to have to understand these different nuances and shifts so that you can, not be in a combat against the media.
Well, you were in the middle of a mosh pit for each of your first two games. You also heard Matt Rhule say that, right? He wished he would have had the guys more prepared, or that he would have been more prepared for those first two road games. At Minnesota, gold out, first game of the year. And then at Colorado, I mean, talk about a hornet's nest after they knocked off TCU, all the hype, the hoopla around that game. Is it understandable that Nebraska wasn't prepared? Is it concerning that Nebraska wasn't prepared? Do you like Matt Rhule admitting that? Where do you fall with those comments?
I appreciate the admission. I think there's a certain amount of grace because when you come, the best way I can try to explain it, you can be in the same office, but do a uniquely different job. Meaning you can be an IT specialist where you set up a lot of the, the networking and the connections, and that's what you've been, but you get promoted. And in the promotion, you now have to do security. You're still in the same room, but you're doing an absolutely different type of job. You're doing security now. Okay.
Hey, I see parking walking over. You all good? You squared away? You square? Okay.
Yeah, they should walk right past me, doggone it.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Hey, listen,
trying to look out for my boy.
Our name is The Ticket, and they do give tickets right outside. they will do it. Now, so what I mean is when you come from the NFL to college, even though you left college is like or sports or coaching is like having a new phone. It's like new phone upgrades and updates every freaking year. 1 year you have the iPhone 11 and then all of a sudden you're at 13. You're like, what the heck happened? That's how coaching is today. It's like that. It's wild, right? So when you shift also out of that to the pro, the way the managing, the dealing with different the players is totally different than the way that you have to deal with them at the college level. So you have to give him grace because he brings over a lot of guys that came from the NFL.
Yeah.
So they're still kind of trying to get their feet wet, i.e., you're setting up the computers, but now you got to do cybersecurity. Like, not only do it, you're managing it. Like, so it's a total different thing. And that's what I'm saying. You have to give him the grace, and this is why you have to allow him now. You can't have that same amount of grace. If you're not prepared now, that's a problem.
Right. After, 6-7 experiences on the road, there's no excuse anymore. You've been there, and you do have a new staff member, a couple new staff members, and John Butler and Glenn Thomas, who come from the NFL. Get them ready. Get them prepared. They've been in college before, but like Matt Rhule, they stepped away. It's a new game. Speaking
and
of
you being that you went through it, you should understand the transition difficulty.
Yeah.
So you want to get ahead of that. You need to have some sit downs and say, what areas did we fail? What areas did we miss? What areas did we didn't do well? How could we did we get better from this year, from last year? What did we learn? You should be able to translate that, or have somebody within your organization to do so.
One other big picture thing here, before we go to break, we'll definitely play some more Matt Rhule in hour 2. A lot to get to from him. Asked about recruiting, asked about the makeup and the composition of his team. What kind of players is Matt Rhule looking for with the addition of schools from the West Coast? Here's what Matt Rhule had to say during Big Ten Media Days.
I laugh with Troy sometimes. Like if Haven Fields, our sport administrator, would have said, "Hey, I want to add USC and UCLA to the non-con," and I'd have thrown a fit. Like, I'm not playing those guys. Well, here they are. So I think when you look at the Big Ten, you're playing 9 conference games. More importantly, playing 5 road conference games. Not every conference plays 5 roads. Most of them, some of the 18 leagues, they play 4 road games, and sometimes one's like a neutral site, so they play 3 where you have to go into someone else's stadium. We have to, in the Big Ten, we have to go into someone else's stadium in our league 5 times and duke it out. So, but I think we'll have a lot of access to the college football playoff, and I think 4 teams from this league should get in every year, because this is the best league. This is the NFL of college football in my mind. It stretches from coast to coast, different time zones, different weather. That's not to diminish any other league. The SEC is amazing. These other leagues are great, but the challenge in the Big Ten is going to be really difficult. Travel, weather, and great teams. For us, we think every game's a big game because we're playing in it, and you didn't come to Nebraska because you wanted to play an FCS slate. You came here because you want the challenge of. We get to go to the Coliseum and play football. How lucky are we? And so that's why you come to Nebraska. That's why in recruiting, like, competitiveness is like my number one trait, because I want guys who want to prove it on the field, not anywhere else.
There's a lot there, Strick. Your reaction to that from Matt Rhule?
He was right. There was no lie in that. The experiences are going to be uniquely different. And I did share that I think if they do it right, the Big Ten has one of the best opportunities to be a breeding ground for professional leaps, because the places you're going to get to play, the places you're going to get to go, there's no one else that gets to do that unless you're doing non-con. You're doing this in conference. This is teaching
every
you,
year.
Yeah, this is teaching you what it's like to play as an NFL team who's in Arizona that has to go play the New York Jets, or go and play the New England Patriots. No different from Seattle, who has to go down to Miami and play. You're going to get to do that type of travel as a West, a Big Ten player. I think that does help, because now you're getting different time zones, you're getting different climates, you're getting to see it all, and that's one thing I always say I like about it.
The other part of that quote that stood out to me was Matt Rhule saying, "We just want guys that compete." It's easy to look at Nebraska going, on an 8-year stretch without a bowl game and say, "Oh, there's not enough competitors on the roster." Right? Oh, they're losers. They're not trying hard enough. They're not giving their best. They're packing it in, quitting, whatever. I don't think that's necessarily fair. When you look at Nebraska, did you see a competitive fire from the team last year, and it's just they have to develop their skills and maybe their IQ? Or do you think that was a team that, maybe wasn't fully bought in year one and has to, get more bought in, has to, fall in line, I guess, with the culture, has to want to pick each other up more in order to change how the scoreboard looks this year?
No, I'm actually not. I'm actually not. I actually was surprised and impressed with what they were able to do and how they kept themselves in games. The mistake ultimately, here's where, look, it ended up playing out the way it was going to play out, but you don't know how it would have played out because it didn't happen the way that it could have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I sound like somebody that's been on TV, but I promise you I'm going somewhere. Here's why I say that. You bet. Remember the things that we've always talked about on the block, Austin? We talk about quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterback is one of the, in college especially, in the pros, yes too, but even more in college, a quality, a sound, a game-changing type of quarterback can literally take your program to all. And I'm just going to say one team, and that I'm going to stay there. Just what Michael Penix Jr. was able to do for Washington in itself. Sure. Yes, they had talent. Mm-hmm. Some do, most do, all in some instances have some forms of talent. Whether it's a large swath of it or a small swath, you've got it, right?
The example I'll throw out there is Clemson.
Yeah.
Clemson was really good, winning 9-10 games every year. Then they went and got not just a good quarterback, but a transcendent college quarterback in Deshaun Watson, followed him up with Trevor Lawrence. They won national championships. Same thing right here at Nebraska, right? Really good program through the 80s and 90s. Could have won a championship or two in that stretch, but who did it take to win the championship? Tommy Frazier.
Exactly. And that's why I say that the importance of that hurt Nebraska, because you bet on a Jeff Sims. Yeah, that was your bet. You went out, you missed. That's the place you can't miss, is at the quarterback position, because it can literally, and it did for Nebraska. It isn't that Harburg wasn't fine. It isn't that McCaffrey or any of those guys that were here before. You gave it a shot. Just didn't work. That's okay. I still think you could have done some other things with them, but they just didn't have the mechanics because they didn't have the training under your regime that could have helped them. Unfortunately, you got carryover. It doesn't pan out. You miss a lot of opportunities because just look at some of those. If you get first downs on a couple of them, if you do a few things that you made mistakes on, fumbles or turnovers at inopportune times, if you don't do that, Nebraska's situations, Nebraska wins 9 games to me if they had just sound quarterback play.
Hey, guess what? We'll talk about the quarterbacks a little bit later. We knew that was going to be a big topic, especially with Dylan Rhule not being at media days. Everyone still wanted to know about him, how that competition is going. But first, before we talk quarterbacks, we're playing the shootout. Stricky's coming in hot off the bench, all ready to go for the shootout. Call now, 402-464-5685. That's the number to our Honda of Lincoln hotline. You call, you get your chance to win $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings, where we will be on Monday for Customer Appreciation Day. So Monday's shows are out at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O. You win now, hey, come pick up your $30 there before Monday. You can use it. Again, 402-464-5685.
Antes de lunes.
Antes de lunes. Not mañana. It has to be mañana, pretty much.
Antes de lunes.
Indeed. Shootout with Strick. Wraps up Power 1 next.
At Doane University, we build leaders. And that means your success and achievements come first.
At Doane University, your future is uniquely yours. And our world-class liberal arts education is just the beginning.
We invite you to schedule your campus visit and experience why Doane University will start you on your journey to your future career.
Learn more by scheduling your personal campus visit today at doane.edu/visit. See you soon.
Rhule's Jewelry is excited to be celebrating 65 years. 65 years of so many incredible memories, celebrating with each of your special moments. In celebration of the 65th Rhule's Jewelry anniversary, we will be offering up to 40% off all engagement rings and all diamond fashion jewelry. The excitement doesn't stop there. Rhule's Jewelry is also offering 18 months, 0% interest and $0 down financing on all qualifying purchases. Rhule's Jewelry has always been known for incredible customer service, one of the largest selections of engagement rings, and don't forget about the on-site jeweler. Come celebrate with us at Rhule's Jewelry, your one-stop diamond shop with exclusive Levian jewelry, Pandora Charm jewelry, and more. all at Rhule's inside Gateway Mall.
Stevens & Smith Construction is a full-service, employee-owned concrete company that specializes in residential and commercial foundations and flat work. They've been a leader in the concrete industry since 1971, with nearly 250 employees combining for more than 2,000 years of service. With locations in Lincoln, Omaha, and Kansas City, they're united in quality, integrity, and professionalism to create excellence in construction. Learn more today at stevensandsmith.com.
Get ready, Husker fans. The Big Red Preview is coming soon. Join us Saturday night, August 3rd, for an exclusive look at your Nebraska football team in action. Experience the excitement, the energy, the sights and sounds of a game day as the 2024 football season kicks off. Visit Huskers.com/tickets and bring your family, friends, and all your Big Red pride to Memorial Stadium Saturday night, August 3rd. That's Huskers.com/tickets. Brought to you by Husker Athletics and 1890 Nebraska. Winning tradition, future success.
For only $2.99 a day, LES powers life's sweetest moments and keeps all your summer treats icy cold and ready. Learn more at les.com/value.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Hi, it's Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and maybe the biggest savings in the Midwest are happening right now at Koppel. When you buy a new GMC or Chevrolet anywhere else, you might be paying too much. But right now, we're going to give you over $10,000 off list or 1.9% APR on select new Chevrolets or GMCs. So please give us a shot before you buy anywhere else. Please stop in the dealership or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. Must trade and finance with approved credit.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
The next generation of Huskers starts now. Join the official Kids Club of Nebraska Athletics today to score access to select home games, a discount at the team store, and endless Husker spirit. The free JV team gets you started with a game credential. Upgrade to the $35 Lil Huskers membership for a welcome box and VIP Lil Huskers experiences. Fuel your Husker spirit. Join the Kids Club today at huskers.com/kidsclub. Go Big Red.
What's your radon level at home? Don't know? Find out with a call to Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating, 467-1111 for radon testing and mitigation.
Ironhide Construction is a Nebraska-based general contracting and steel construction firm. Their expert team is experienced in building innovative construction solutions across several industries. While they were previously known for their extensive experience in steel erection and metal buildings, they've continued to evolve over the last several years into a full-service general contracting firm. They take pride in their commitment to quality, cutting-edge technology, and having a passion for what they do. For more information about their services or to discuss an upcoming project, visit www.ironhideconstruction.com or call 402-420-4961.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game.
Back on the show, which means Stricky is back in the saddle for the Shootout with Strick. How you feeling, my partner?
You know what, man? I need to do something, bro. I need to tap in with my people. And I'm gonna do that right now. We going live.
That's a high risk, high reward strategy.
We going live. We going live. 937 the ticket. I'm excited. I'm ready. It is time to get it on. I'm not scared. I am him. The champ is here.
Hey, you can't say that yet. You haven't won.
I'm coming.
You're not 2 live crew. You're 1 live crew. That's you right now.
1 live crew.
1 live crew. And it's you.
All right, let's get it, man. Let's get it.
Your competition today.
Who we got on the mic?
We got Dave on our Honda
you know what?
Lincoln hotline.
I got a new nickname for Dave. Dave, Google me. Dave, Google me, Dave. That's his new nickname. You got your Google ready, Dave?
Dave's back.
Yeah, he about to watch the Google.
Back like you never left. Dave, you're usually mad at me for giving you NBA questions. Is college football more in your wheelhouse?
Well, more than basketball.
Okay, well, hold on.
What we got?
We got college football.
Okay, I can roll with college football.
Okay.
Let's go.
We'll give Stricky his questions first, and then we'll get to you, Dave. Stricky, your round starts here in 3, 2, and 1. He has the most passing yards and passing touchdowns in Oregon history. Justin Herbert or Marcus Mariota?
Mariota.
Yep. He passed for more yards at Washington. Jake Locker or Jacob Eason?
Locker.
Yep. He had more sacks in a single season for UCLA. Laiatu Latu or Anthony Barr?
Latu.
It was Anthony Barr. And which new Big Ten school is the only new addition without a Heisman Trophy winner?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Washington.
We got to check the tape. I don't know if he got that one off. Rico, pull up the stream. Pull up the stream.
Yeah!
Pull up the stream and make sure.
You know what I'm saying? I was off the fingertip, my boy.
I don't know.
Yeah, Rico.
I will give
Rico
it to you for now, but I'm asking Rico to pull it up behind the scenes. I will give it to you for now. Dave, as of now, you need 4 to tie. You need a perfect round to win. You ready for your shot?
Well, I was kind of hoping things would be a little bit better advantage, but hey, we got to shoot when you got to shoot.
There you go. Your round starts here in 3, 2, and 1. He had more passing yards at UCLA. Brett Hundley or Josh Rosen?
Let's say Hundley.
Yep. He has the most career receiving yards at USC. Steve Smith or Marquise Lee?
Oh, Steve Smith.
It's Lee. He had more receiving yards at Washington. Rome Odunze or Jermaine Kearse?
Hey, Kirk.
It was Odunze. And which new Big Ten school has the most Heisman Trophy winners?
10,
USC.
8, 7.
USC, and 8 is correct. But unfortunately, Dave, that leaves you 1 point short.
Well, we're going to review the tape.
Rico reviewed it as you were going. He had the stream pulled up, and Stricky got it off just before the buzzer. Valiant effort, Dave. Thanks for playing.
All right.
You know what it is.
You went live, and he came through.
I went live on him and came through. You understand?
You almost bit yourself in the butt
I
by
wanted
waiting
to
too
say
long.
it. It was crazy. I was like, I knew it.
You said you, and then you went with Washington. All right, Rico, you check the tape. You are
when
replay review center.
When I tell you that it is the exact same time, and you are finishing saying Washington around the time the buzzer is going off, like it's, I don't know. It's hard, but I'm going to say that it's barely off the fingertip.
Okay.
Facts.
All right.
That's what's on at 6 or 7 tonight.
shot-
WTF, we talk facts. If you want to hear the facts, you heard this man right
Look,
here.
the shot counts, but it was disgusting.
Is it confirmed or does it stand as called?
It stands as called.
You know
Stands
what?
as called?
Right
Stands as
now,
called.
you're a little shaky.
Stricky. It was gross. There was the inbound. There was 0.7 left. You fumbled it and you just tossed it behind your head and it went in. It was gross. It shouldn't have counted, but it does.
Oh, that's hilarious. Why
Rico,
you
thank you
talking
for
like that
your
to me,
fact
Rico?
check
You not
finding.
nice,
Appreciate it.
Rico. You're not nice.
We still do have the $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings to give away. We do that by playing the tiebreaker question. And again, I can't believe you almost cost yourself by waiting till the very last second.
Man, I
Just
was
say
like,
the answer, my guy.
but
Spit it out.
I didn't second guess myself. What's happening? I didn't second guess myself like I normally did.
Mm-hmm.
It popped up. I just couldn't pause. I just couldn't spit it out. It was just stuck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you remember on the Matrix when his mouth kind of just
like marbles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just trying to speak and I couldn't.
All right. Over, under, or push the answer to this question. Text line.
What are we giving away?
$30 to Buffalo Wings and
30
Rings.
bone.
We'll do texter number 5 here. And you are already most of the way to the answer here. So hopefully you're paying attention to what Dave had to say, Stricky. How many combined Heisman Trophy winners have played for the 4 new Big Ten schools? So add up all the Heismans from the 4 new schools.
All of them.
What's that number? Dave gave you a good start to the
10.
number. Stricky says 10. Okay. Over, under, or push. Texter number 5 with the right answer at 402-464-5685 gets the $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. Again, we are out there on Monday for Customer Appreciation Day at 68th and O. Make sure you stop by and see us. That would be even easier for you to do if you're texter 5 with the right answer. We'll go to break. When we get back for hour 2 of the show, guess what? More from Matt Rhule. We teased it. The quarterback position. An update on Dylan Raiola, how his recruiting that position changed, maybe a little bit about Glenn Thomas. How much confidence does the team have knowing the quarterback room is in a better place this year than last? All that and more ahead in hour 2 of the show.
Get ready, Husker fans. The Big Red Preview is coming soon. Join us Saturday night, August 3rd, for an exclusive look at your Nebraska football team in action. Experience the excitement, the energy, the sights and sounds of a game day as the 2024 football season kicks off. Visit Huskers.com/tickets and bring your family, friends, and all your Big Red pride to Memorial Stadium Saturday night, August 3rd. That's Huskers.com/tickets. Brought to you by Husker Athletics and 1890 Nebraska. Winning tradition, future success.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today. Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Join us on Monday, July 29th at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O to celebrate the company's 40th anniversary. Enjoy 40% off wings all day and your favorite sports talk hosts on air from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Come hang with us for the 40th anniversary party on Monday, July 29th at the 68th and O Buffalo Wings and Rings.
You already know that Select Plumbing takes care of all your plumbing needs, including water heaters, faucet repairs, leaks, drips, sump pumps, and more. Now, they're able to help you with your heating and air conditioning as well. Select Plumbing has recently expanded into residential heating and air, and they're excited to bring this new service to their complete list of plumbing services. Call to book an appointment today at 402-560-6197 or go to selectplumbinginc.com. Serving Lincoln, Seward, Milford, and the surrounding areas.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Hi, it's Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and maybe the biggest savings in the Midwest are happening right now at Koppel. When you buy a new GMC or Chevrolet anywhere else, you might be paying too much. But right now, we're going to give you over $10,000 off list or 1.9% APR on select new Chevrolets or GMCs. So please give us a shot before you buy anywhere else. Please stop in the dealership or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. Must trade and finance with Roof Credit.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Ironhide Construction is a Nebraska-based general contracting and steel construction firm. Their expert team is experienced in building innovative construction solutions across several industries. While they were previously known for their extensive experience in steel erection and metal buildings, they've continued to evolve over the last several years into a full-service general contracting firm. They take pride in their commitment to quality, cutting-edge technology, and having a passion for what they do. For more information about their services or to discuss an upcoming project, visit www.ironhideconstruction.com or call 402-420-4961.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Old school with DP and J.
There's California money, and it's a different kind of money. Hollywood money just is spent differently because it's turned over and created so in full. And oh, by the way, it's the right kind of money when it comes to, because we're in the era now of name, image, and likeness. And the California schools have that better than everybody else.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Early break with Sip and Jake.
And it's pretty much just lettuce, tomato, mayo, and bacon. I mean,
That's
you don't need to do
DLT.
much more than that.
Bacon, lettuce, tomato. That's the crux.
This is groundbreaking.
That's the
Groundbreaking
crux
stuff
of the
here today
sandwich.
on the BLT.
That's the crux of it.
I never thought of it that way, but yeah, you're right.
But to have it,
What is the BLT
what's the
stand
most important part is the bacon, the lettuce, and then the tomato.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NIPCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Hour 2 of the show, we'll dive back into some Big Ten Media Days comments. Stricky, are you feeling generous on a Monday, or are you feeling like you want the text line to earn it?
You know what? The way they've been treating me and ain't been talking and giving me a little love, they got to earn it today.
Okay.
Got to earn it.
In that case, 75-63, you went with your second answer was correct, not your first answer. So you don't get the $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings yet. We ask a second trivia question because the correct answer was a push. Stricky nailed it. Stricky nailed it. 2 in a row.
Again?
Mama, there goes the man. He's on fire.
Stricky is you. Hey, if you want to hit that parlay, hit Strick A.
Hey. So it is a push. 8 Heisman winners from USC, 1 each from Oregon and UCLA, and 1 from Washington. $30 for Buffalo Wings and Rings still up for grabs. Here's the new trivia question. It's a name. Dylan Cease just threw the second no-hitter in San Diego Padres history. First person in with the correct answer who threw the first no-hitter in San Diego Padres history. You get the $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. Again, we'll be out there on Monday. Big thanks to Nebco for sponsoring our show. They're hiring for 2 of their companies, including constructors, general labor, and ready-mixed drivers. They're both hiring. You can visit nebcoinc.com, constructorslincoln.com, or readymixedconcrete.com. If you want to be a driver, you can get your CDL training paid for and a $2,500 hiring bonus. If you want to be a general laborer, your wages will start at $23 and up based on experience. All right, 75-63. There you go. You won it this time. The $30 of Buffalo Wings and Rings is yours. So 75-63, send in your name. You got 30 days to come in and pick up your $30 to Wings and Rings. The answer, Joe Musgrove, which is pretty cool. He's a local kid from the San Diego area. He threw the first no-hitter in Padres history back in 2021. Other thing from the text line here, Old Dad 34 says, hey, fellas, Monday night in Dakota City, fundraiser, spaghetti supper to go to Indianapolis, Indiana, and play for a chance to make it to the Little League World Series. Hey, shout out Dakota City. Safe travels to Indy That'd be so cool, Strick. It's been a long time since the Nebraska team has represented. I mean, it was
Are you sure?
Kearney.
No, it was just last year. Was
it last
team.
year? I thought it was just a handful of years ago.
Well, I think it was the Legion,
Kearney,
Legion team last year from Nebraska. Sauterham text line helped me out. I know they went to the finals, but I don't think they won it. And I want to say it was the Legion team, but yeah, Nebraska has actually been represented. I shout out to the gosh darn it, my mind is just drew a blank. El Mac, good friend out of North Omaha. His daughter Riley plays AAU. I want to say 15U, but I can't remember the name of their team. I just want to shout them out. I'm going to throw it out to them. But they ended up winning a national tournament by way of, I think, the Adidas circuit. So they look. The youth here in the state of Nebraska are definitely representing on a high level. Volleyball is definitely one of the most sought after things as far as in the state of Nebraska. A lot of talent comes out of here. So that's one thing that they don't have is not replicating that. I think that we just miss. We just end up missing. And a lot of it has to do with just other teams have better NIL deals. I mean,
okay, you said NIL. Do you want to get the Matt Rhule NIL comments before we get to the quarterback?
Let's go.
Okay. Matt Rhule in his side session, this was not on the main podium. Matt Rhule in his side session with other members of the media talked about NIL. Here's what the Husker head coach had to say.
Yeah, it's just the world now. I mean, and at the end of the day, like I only heard one. When I said that quarterbacks cost $1 million, I got a bunch of coaches. I got a bunch of FBS coaches were mad at me because they said all their quarterbacks came in and said I won $1 million. But a bunch of SCS coaches were happy because they said that their donors were like, hey, I'll give you $10,000 to go get a quarterback. So, but it's the reality. I'd much rather be transparent. Like I hear all the time people tell me I don't really believe in NIL. I'm like, what do you mean you don't believe in it? You might not agree with it, but it is what it is. And so, I would love it if all of us had the same amount because then you could really see who could recruit and coach. If you're asking me to recruit against a team that's got twice as much money to give players as I do, then I'm not going to win very often. And that will then affect game day. But, we're blessed in Nebraska. We have a great setup with 1890. Tom and Sean Pete have really stood in the gap and provided us a lot in a time where we don't have it. But make no mistake, we're not at the level of those guys. Like we got a long way to go, and so that truth has to be put out there. People need to hear the truth. Like you might not like the truth, but you have to hear the truth. And the truth is we're doing great, but we got a long way to go. We got to get a lot better because I'm pretty sure Oregon, Ohio State, LSU, the teams that have that type of money, they're not sitting still now. they're saying, hey, someone's going to try to catch us. And so I think Nebraska is a great place, and I think we should get the best players in the country. And NIL is one of the ways to do it. So we got to just keep chasing those guys.
Stricky, you were nodding your head through a lot of that. What stood out to you from what head coach Matt Rhule had to say?
Because, he said something, we're doing great, but we're not doing anything to the level of a lot of these other guys. So then it becomes, to me, today has to become, as a coach, you've got to figure out where your niche is. If you're Ohio State, your niche is get talent, keep buy-in, win championships, be in the mix for championships, be in the playoffs fighting for a championship, right? That's your Ohio States, that's your Michigans, that's your let's go down, that's your Bamas, that's your LSU trying to be that, not there because I don't think they NIL fighting in the same level as well. But that's definitely your Bama, that's your Georgias. You know what I mean? But I don't even think Georgia has to go as high as anybody else because they're just a talent-rich pool and people want, to be looking down at whether I'm going to a championship or whether I'm going to get the bag, but I really want the big bag. And if I'm on a winning, some people understand if I'm on a winning program, winning brings eyes bring bank.
Bank brings players bring winning brings eyes bring bank.
It's a cycle. So that's it. Now, Nebraska, he spoke truth in saying we're not there. That's football. Whoa. Austin, holla at your boy.
If football ain't there, what other program can be there?
Facts. WTF is 6-7. You can get all the facts you want. Yes. That's what you do. If you're not there in football, don't have high expectations. Don't be I'm gonna be honest, but you still, as a coach, have to figure out how to navigate with it. It's just like being a poker player. In poker, it's a long day. If you're playing in a poker tournament, there be 5,000 people. You got to be careful about when you go all in. You got to make sure you got to be patient. You got to basically work with. Ultimately, I'm saying this: you got to work with the hand that you're given. If you ain't giving a hand, sometimes you got to throw it in. But with that, as a coach, now you've got to figure out with what you've been given, what type of lemons if you don't got the juicy lemonade, you got to squeeze all you can out of the little lemonades to try to make up and compensate. That's what they've got to figure out now. So you got to figure out, okay, we've got enough to get this type of talent. We've got to develop. So we've got to become development centric if you're a Nebraska type. In other sports, if you don't have that, you don't as an AD be looking down the barrel wondering why you're not able to win games because you're not able to fire with any pop to it, because across the board you're short.
I also want to make sure it's abundantly clear that when revenue sharing passes and the schools are directly paying the athletes, NIL does not go away. That seems to be a misconception that I'm hearing, Strick, is that, oh, well, it doesn't matter that Nebraska's behind now. Everyone's going to be on an equal playing field. No, everyone's going to have to pay the same if they want to compete at, Division 1A level of football compared to Division, 1AA like it used to be or whatever. But that's just what the schools are going to provide. You are still going to have these outside deals, right? If you can offer more money on the outside on top of what the school is giving you. So no, this isn't going away even when revenue sharing comes. Can Nebraska ever catch up, right? You mentioned LSU. Why does LSU have to have more money than Nebraska? Like, does LSU have more money than Nebraska? Are they using their money better? I don't know, but let's not pretend like the state of Louisiana is like thriving economically. So like why does LSU have more money than Nebraska? Is that a program Nebraska can measure up to? Can Nebraska ever get back to the top of college football if the money's not going to be there? There's a lot of questions there.
There's a lot of questions, and if you're going to try to do it, you have to be strategic as to where you place your bets, right? How you hedge your bets, and you better hit. Like, your scouting department has better be one of the best in the country. If you're
hey, guess what? You lost your key scouting guy in Evan Cooper this offseason.
So if you're not cash rich, cash rich, you can do what they say is called, what's the word for it? They say, if you're a cash rich person, you can basically play in the game and take your losses, but you what do they say? You have to bet. Oh, scared money don't make money, right? Okay, that's what they say. So when you're cash rich, you're going to be able to put more money out there. This is why, for example, people don't play with Michael Jordan. Like, stop trying to go into the casino. Stop trying to play golf with Michael Jordan, because his money is going to outlast you.
Hey, that locker room guy beat him at the quarter flipping game.
Well, I bet you Mike found something to get him back at. I bet you that. But that's the thing. Like, sometimes there's people that can take a loss. Very wealthy people in our country can, they can hedge themselves. One group just got caught trying to hedge a bet. Put like 12,000 shares down for they put a 12,000 down for a what is it when my mind's drawn blank. When they short. When they try to short the market and got caught slipping. So you got to make sure that, I think, if you're going to be that type of team, you've got to have great scouting. You've got to be able to identify talent. You've got to identify tangibles in people that have not yet arrived, because maybe their bodies just hasn't fully developed yet. You got a lot of David Robinson types, and I'm only using that from the height, where he starts out 6'3", and the next thing you know, he's freaking 7'1" in like a year and a half.
Hey, your boy Anthony Davis had that glow up too.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just things you don't see. You don't see And there's just little tangibles. There's worth ethic. There's things that you see in them. Like, I can shout out Will Kyle III. Like, I saw that young man had talent, not because he was already arrived. He was very raw, but boy, he worked. I saw the work. And that's where you're going to have to be if you don't have the money, because you can't miss like somebody else can. You know what I mean?
Right. If you're going to take a swing, you got to hit.
Got to hit.
Nebraska hit on Dylan Rhule, probably in part due to NIL, other factors at play for sure. Here's what Matt Rhule had as an update on Dylan Rhule at Big Ten Media Days.
I think Dylan's done a great job of just coming in and being one of the guys. Like he shows up and he works. You know, I mean, it's probably a credit to Dom and Yvonne. Like, I'm sure Dom told him, like, just go there and work. You know, if I walk in to get my little old man workout in the afternoon, 4 o'clock, he's usually there doing something extra. If you go in early in the morning, he's usually there throwing. But, you know, you look at our elite list every week, you know, Heinrich's going to be on there. Everyone does things in their own way. I think the thing with Dylan is he spends a lot of time learning the football, understanding, because as a freshman, it's hard to process. It's like, I was talking to Coach Osborne in his golf outing. We were talking about playing freshmen. He's like, you know, they get really good against the defense they see every day, and all of a sudden you go to week 1, and you go to week 2, and it's a whole different defense. When they're juniors, it's easy, but when they're a freshman, there's a lot of learning. And so what Dylan has shown me is that he's willing to put that time in, and the game comes natural to him because he puts the work in. And I'd say that's really that whole room. And I think that's one of the reasons why we brought Glenn in, so that they had someone they could just go to full time.
Glenn, of course, being Glenn Thomas there at the end, the Matt Rhule shouts out. Strick, I think there's a very fine balance to draw between Dylan Rhule fitting in and standing out, right? You didn't bring Dylan Rhule in just to be the next guy in Nebraska history who's, you know, hyped beyond belief and then is just okay, right?
Right.
You like to hear that Dylan Rhule is fitting in as one of the guys, that he's not letting fame, hype, status, money, whatever else it might be, get to him and set himself apart in the locker room. But you also hope that Dylan Rhule does stand out on the field and that he looks like a difference maker.
Yeah. Yeah. And what I love is he carries himself with a lot of professionalism. And I think sometimes you see that in those who have had the opportunity to be in locker rooms, be around, to understand what you like just even for myself, I can dwell in a basketball and a football. I didn't really know how to navigate in baseball. But it was a blessing that I had a good group of guys that helped me to understand certain etiquette, certain things not to do, certain things that can keep me from getting ball thrown at my head. You know, just a lot of different things, you know, running out balls, how to practice like a professional, you know, how to take BP the right way, you know, work on your swing going opposite, you know, just they help me. I mean, I'm a quick learner. There's the one thing that's about me is I'm a duplicate quick learner. But the fact that he's taking onus of that and understanding, because that's hard to do. And for those that can't do it, like let me just be transparent. I wonder what it's like in Colorado locker room. Because you see tweets or you see things that Shador has said, even, you know, Shiloh or D-Lo, you know, coach, yeah, that have said that could cause internal problems amongst, you know, groups of people. Or if rumors be true or alleged comments or things that are happening, if it looks like it's good thing there's nothing in it.
That went the other way this time. Earlier this week, it went the other way.
Towards me. If it looks like it's shaded towards a certain direction, it can cause problems. This is what you don't want to have. And I think the fact that, yes, people recognize and know that he's a face type of player for the you know, University of Nebraska, that he feels that you don't feel like that. Whereas I think there's a contrast of probably what you see in Colorado, where you can feel that there's some deference to this side. Whereas with him, you know it to be so, but just because you see it in media and you see, but if he's making it not to feel that way in the locker room, that's a good sign.
we know, for example, Colorado's starter is going to be Shadur Sanders at quarterback. We assume it's going to be Dylan Raiola for Nebraska, but we don't know that for a fact. Matt Rhule was asked, does the team need to know, by a certain point who the starting quarterback of the Huskers will be? Here's how Matt Rhule answered that question.
I feel like it's my responsibility to give all these guys who've worked their tails off all summer a chance to show what they've done. That doesn't mean the reps can't be skewed. That doesn't mean I can't give Mitch all the 1 reps and give Robin all the 2 reps. But naming the starter and saying, "Hey, the competition is over," that comes at a. I'm sorry, flip it. Wow, that touched the nerve. But that doesn't mean that you can't. That doesn't mean that you can't. It doesn't mean that when I announce it, right? Because one thing I've always wanted is, the quarterback has to know that there's going to be a day where the quarterback doesn't play very well. I was at the New York Giants, and Eli Manning, the year after winning the Super Bowl, we had the game. I think he had like 4 or 5 picks in the first half. We didn't pull him. Go play through it. And when I name a starter, I want the starter to play through it. So, so as guys, as they progress, we'll skew reps in different guys' favors. But we do have to get all 3 guys ready to play. And then whoever's the next guy, whether it's Jalen, whether it's Bodie, whether it's Luke, they've got to be ready to play.
Matt Rhule mentioned that again as well. If you're hoping to play the 16 games it would take to win a national championship, you're going to need at least 2, if not 3 guys ready. One more cut from Matt Rhule here. We'll play some more next segment as well. How much of the confidence in the offseason that Nebraska can use the first 7 games as a runway to better success and get back to a bowl game, how much of that comes from, the change at quarterback, maybe having a deeper room and a new quarterback's coach in Glenn Thomas? Here's Matt Rhule.
It's not necessarily that. I mean, it's not necessarily that. We're so much different at receiver than we were last year. It's not even. I mean, everyone talks about the quarterback. Our O-line last year. Our O-line was running the ball against a defense that knew we were running the ball pretty much every play, and even a couple little bubble screens at Wisconsin properly executed, all of a sudden we scored a couple points, right? So I think with the adaptations we made in the receiving corps, playing those young guys last year, watching them develop, getting the guys who got injured, getting them back like IGC and those guys, and then adding in some guys from the portal, I think we could be a really dynamic team. And now I think people are going to have to defend the run and the pass, no matter who the quarterback is. And I think that's going to make our O-line better. And I think Finoni is a year off of 2 ACLs and he's healthy, and all of a sudden now he can really get turned loose. And Borgature, I think, is an unsung hero. Carter Nelson, people don't even ask me about him, but I can talk about him all day. So I just think we're way more talented, and the guys that were here last year doesn't mean they're way more talented than they were last year because they're more skilled. So the quarterback play, the guys are going to be more open. You know what I'm saying? And they're not going to have to, some of our sacks happened last year when no one was open. They're like, oh, what do I do? And they're kind of running around and they get the sack fumble. We'll turn the ball over some. We're not going to be perfect, but we're going to be better. And the key is going to be is the defense better. And that'll be a major key.
Interesting. The key is going to be that the defense is better. He didn't specifically address the quarterback saying, no, quarterback wasn't the biggest issue last year. Well, it kind of seems like it was from the outside, Strick. Did you think that was a political answer, from Matt Rhule, a coach speak answer to try to protect a guy like Heinrich Harburg, who was on the roster last year and started 8 games? I think went 5-3 as the starter.
Yeah. Or
do you think Matt Rhule's telling the truth that the team thinks, it wasn't really all on the quarterback last year. We all had to get better across the board.
Yeah. I think it's a good way of kind of stretching out some of the not having it to totally be focused in one area. I think the defense was the best part of what Nebraska had going last year. It's probably the most consistent. It just, they didn't have the depth necessary to sustain. That's where a lot of their issues, just think they got wore out at different times, especially up front. And it trickles down because if you're not getting pressure and you're in a game and you can't get off the field because you got third downs, even though I think they did a good job of working to create chain situations, long third downs, where they found themselves third down 5, 7, even 8. But the big ones they're giving up, like they were giving up 3rd downs and 14s, and that was happening.
Seems like once
quite
a half.
often.
Yeah.
Right. Like they just wasn't able to get off, and then you can see that it either cost them, and then you lose a close game, or you lose by a field goal, or you might lose by last drive, and it happened quite often. I think the defense. Hopefully we've gotten better because some of the depth. Hopefully you don't have the injuries that they had last year. And that's where you're hoping that the improvement comes from. I think offensively, you definitely have burners. You have talent. I think Dylan is what you'll see is. I think he'll show a capability of making throws that on a consistent basis that they may have missed in a lot of instances. Now that's also gonna mean the line's got to be better.
Not just as good, but better.
They've got to be better. I mean, you if you have a 2.5 second window, but it's 1 and 1.9, and he's in somebody's fade, and he's got to freaking create magic. It's not good to put that type of pressure. If you can give him a pocket, allow him step ups to be able to step up and create, open areas to find guys, within in there.
2.5
windows.
seconds. 2.5
seconds, man. Just give him 2.5. I think you'll find that he's got, because I think other than some of the other quarterbacks, I think he's a better, quicker decision maker. I think he's able to read. Remember, I told you Sims used to have those moments where I'm like, what is he looking at?
He's not reading. He's throwing where he's told to throw.
He's just throwing where he's told to throw, and I think that's a problem.
I'm with you on that one. All right. We haven't talked about turnovers yet. That was a big theme for Nebraska. There's one Matt Rhule quote on turnovers I think is worth getting to. And I want Strick's opinion too. We'll cross over sports from basketball to football. Can you teach turnover prevention, or is it just kind of innate in players? We'll talk about that when we get back to On the Block.
Hey, Nebraska football fans, it's defensive lineman Ty Robinson, and I've got a winning play for you with Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical. Team up with Action and install a new Bradford white water heater in your home. And if we win the conference championship this season, you'll get a full refund. Don't fumble this opportunity. Sack your old water heater this season and score big with Action. Visit actionlincoln.com/Huskers to learn more.
Promotion valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
HealthLink is elevating the human experience with holistic health, weight loss, nutrition, fitness, and wellness solutions. They offer one-on-one health coaching while personalizing nutrition and wellness plans for structure and simplicity. HealthLink provides nutritious foods such as high-protein entrees, meal replacement snacks, and supplements. But that's not all. If you mention 93.7 The Ticket, you'll get a 5% discount on your order and $20 off your first month if you start a HealthLink subscription. Find your missing link with HealthLink today on the southeast corner of 70th and Pioneers or by phone at 402-858-9356.
Highball Bar in downtown Lincoln is open and located just north of 11th and O Street. Highball Bar offers a vibe and atmosphere like no other, making it the perfect place to grab a drink or beverage. Highball Bar features great events such as Karaoke Sunday, $4 Cheetos on Mondays, Jack Daniel's specials on Wednesdays, and much more. Make Highball Bar your go-to spot after a hard day at work or on the weekend. Highball Bar, located at 122 North 11th Street in downtown Lincoln.
What's your radon level at home? Don't know? Find out with a call to Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. 467-1111 for radon testing and mitigation.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies, and it will be hot. We'll see an afternoon high around 96. Tonight, mostly clear and mild with a low around 71. And tomorrow, we'll see more sunshine and another hot afternoon. High again around 96. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rhule's Jewelry is excited to be celebrating 65 years. 65 years of so many incredible memories celebrating with each of your special moments. In celebration of the 65th Riddle's Jewelry anniversary, we will be offering up to 40% off all engagement rings and all diamond fashion jewelry. The excitement doesn't stop there. Riddle's Jewelry is also offering 18 months, 0% interest, and $0 down financing on all qualifying purchases. Riddle's Jewelry has always been known for incredible customer service, one of the largest selections of engagement rings, and don't forget about the on-site jeweler. Come celebrate with us at Riddle's Jewelry, your one-stop diamond shop with exclusive Levian jewelry, Pandora Charm jewelry, and more. All at Riddle's inside Gateway Mall.
Without a strong IT partner, your business ends up overspending, underperforming, wearing too many hats, complicating your work, and more. Applied Connective Technologies can help with experts in every facet of technology. If it plugs in, powers on, or charges up, they're your people. Imagine being able to call one team for all your technology solutions rather than a village of vendors and providers. For all your needs in managed IT and cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, infrastructure, and audio or video, head to appliedconnective.com to better your business today. Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today. Come enjoy a show of the Midwest's best MMA on Saturday, August 10th at the Complex, the former location of Champions Fun Center. 9 fights are scheduled for the night, including professional lightweight and welterweight bouts, and the main event of Donnie Bush versus Micah Washington in the professional welterweight championship bout. Doors open at 6 p.m. with first bout at 7 p.m. Learn more about the MMA fighters and buy tickets at thecomplexlincoln.com.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here during On the Block. Austin Norman and Eric Strickland with you, 402-464-5685. Still taking your thoughts all show long. A shout out Jim on our YouTube stream here. Jim, we see you. Jim, we really appreciate it. One more from Matt Rhule here. We got 5-10 minutes here in the segment. Matt Rhule says Nebraska didn't have bad luck turnovers last year. What does he mean by that? Our turnovers may be more controllable than we think. Here's the Husker head man.
Yeah, very few of our turnovers last year were bad luck. I mean, I do believe in them. You know, there's to me, there's going to be the tipped ball, like a great throw. The guy makes a great play on. There's going to be, there's going to be the 50-50 ball. I think for us, a lot of them were just, I mean, you go back to the Iowa game, we're literally just running with the ball and we just fumble the ball with no contact. So, I always go back to the root. Like, obviously, we know the issues of turnovers. So, like, what's the root cause? Well, it's passing efficiency, like being able to drop back and throw the ball better. And then it's just also holding the ball properly. So, anytime something's not good, like Ron Brown last year, I said, Ron, why is this like this? He says, because, we aren't coaching it hard enough. So we're trying to coach it harder. And I think at some point when you have enough good players, there's also a part of it was like, hey, if you turn the ball over, you're not going to play. And on defense, if you take the ball away, you're going to play. So I think both those things help us.
All right, Stricky, here's my first question for you based off of all that. Is it as simple as coach it more? Because I think about these guys that come from college basketball to the NBA. Oh, he's got everything, in his bag. He can dribble, he can pass, he can shoot, he can score, but he turns the ball over a lot. I think about it for like a guy like Josh Allen making the jump from Wyoming to the NFL and the Buffalo Bills, right? Oh, he's turnover prone. He doesn't make good decisions. Mm-hmm. Is it as simple as if you coach it hard enough, you can coach enough bad decisions out of guys? Or is it just, hey, sometimes you're born with it, sometimes you're not. Coaches can only do so much, and it's eventually on the player to learn, and maybe even before you get to college or the pros, about how to avoid turnovers?
There's some ways to kind of determine or to make an inference on tendencies towards that.
Is it like loose handle, bad passes?
If it's on the basketball, there's things you can see, just decision-making things that if you infer that higher level talent quicker, things close quicker. Someone who takes handoffs and immediately transfer to a flying elbow, you get through holes and you might get stripped or might get hit. And you can infer that if hit at the right spot, that ball's coming out. So you got to teach, tuck into the palm, tight to the body, lock it in so that there's no strip. And there's ways to teach it. But ultimately, bad habits sometimes, if you have those, they are persistent until you have to cut them off. And some coaches don't feel they have the patience for that, but others feel we have to continue to drill into that specific issue. Maybe not even with everybody, because there becomes a point where everybody's not necessarily, you can hopefully move them on to other things. So it's figuring out how we can still work with each individual. It's not cookie cutter. Their individual flaws and mistakes and things that they do that could cause problems without having to make everybody have to deal with that. And so that way things can still get accomplished so no one feels stuck. Like someone who learns algebra and you're moved on and you get it, for the person that's not, and then you get stuck there, just frustration.
Yeah.
So you still want to grow, you still want to learn, but not necessarily be stagnant just because one specific person is not necessarily grasping it.
Well, and that Rhule said as much in his answer, right? If you take care of the ball on offense, you're going to be on the field more. If we see you have issues with turnovers, you're going to see the field less. And then the inverse on defense, right? If you're out there creating havoc, you're jumping passing lanes, or you're forcing the ball out and creating fumbles, you're going to be on the field more. If all you're doing is in the right spot and being a sound tackler, well, that's great. But we need some more havoc. We need some more chaos, is what I'm reading into Matt Rhule's words there. Do you think, especially the quarterback position, I love that comment you just put up there from Jim. We'll get to that in a sec here. Do you think Nebraska did enough of that? Benching guys for turnovers last year or not creating turnovers on defense? Do you think they did the best they could? Do you think that they said it was a focus but didn't really put it into practice? How do you think the coaching staff handled it last year?
Well, the way that he explained it is that he believes he has enough players now. There's some point that, like, for example, when things wasn't going a certain way at the wide receiver, they're just like, bump it. Let's just throw these young guys out here and let them make mistakes and let them learn, let them grow, but they'll be better for it. In certain positions, you can't do that. If you have a guy that's on the line and he's consistently doing what he wants and not hits gaps, it can cause gape. Gap is another form of gape. Gaping holes open up if you're not in right gaps and somebody else is doing something else, and they happen to just go that way, it can cause problems. So same thing in coverage. Do what you like coverage. We're in cover 2. But I feel that this ball is gonna, be set right behind me, and then somebody's in the flat and ends up going for 15 when you need a stop. If you were in cover 2, that's your flat zone. Right. So it's part of it, but now that you've got more, you hope, depth, that you feel you can, put guys, because that's where Nebraska's strength was in their heyday. Their heyday is you have to play a certain way, you have to run a certain way, you have to block a certain way, but if you don't, guess what? Next man up, there's one waiting in the wings to do your job better than you.
Mm-hmm. You popped up that comment there from Jim, who said last year's quarterback play had a lot to do with decisions under pressure. Yeah, that's fair. But I think you and I would both agree, Strick, that the offensive line was improved, if not elite. It was better. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay, offensive line was better. So yes, it can always take another step in the right direction, can give a guy, 2.7 seconds instead of 2.5 seconds. But Matt Rhule even said in that answer too, how many of our turnovers and sacks were because the quarterback had almost too much time, right? And the receivers couldn't get open, or the running back didn't hit the hole or whatever, right? There's a lot of reasons that go into turnovers here. But if a quarterback panics under pressure, if a quarterback isn't ready for contact, if he's not prepared to have a guy in his face, he shouldn't be playing quarterback. And I'm willing to give Heinrich Haarberg a little bit of a pass. Jumping from C1, Nebraska high school football to the Division I level is a jump that I know I wouldn't be ready to make. And given the lack of training and development it sounds like Heinrich Haarberg had, okay, fine. But Jeff Sims, you've played college football for 3 years already. You have no excuse to not be prepared for contact or to, make the wrong read or to bail and make the wrong decision under pressure. You've got to be calm, cool, collected at the quarterback position. I don't know if Nebraska's always had that. So even just getting the right personality type, and of course, some of that comes from preparation. It comes from expectation management. But you can't just say, oh, well, the quarterbacks were under pressure. Part of the reason you're a quarterback should be is that you're able to handle pressure when things go off script.
Yeah, no, you hit it on the nail on the head. So the thing is, my question is to Sauter Heyman text line and to you guys. As you watch the spring game, be honest, who did you feel had the most poise? That you can just look out there and say, that guy is poised and not rattled by the moment. Who do you feel did that the best by what you saw?
402-464-5685.
You, I'm asking.
I think it's all very, very different, right? I mean, I thought Dylan Rhule handled expectations very well. I think coming out the first drive and looking the way he did was positive, was notable. I didn't think Heinrich Haarberg didn't look poised necessarily.
I would say them too. I'm not saying it was a one-off. I'm saying who did you see?
Right. But then I think about a couple throws where there maybe was a little bit more pressure and Haarberg's mechanics broke down, right? When there was pressure in Raiola's face, he threw the ball out of bounds. When there was pressure in Haarberg's face, okay, yeah, he tried to make the play, tried to make the throw, but he went back to what didn't work last year, which tells me he's not fully comfortable in the new mechanics, which tells me he's still learning and growing at the quarterback position. And obviously there's going to be bumps in the road for Dylan Rhule as well. But he's got at least that part figured out. What do I do under pressure? And again, it's going to be different. I get it when there are live bullets flying and whatnot. And even Daniel Kalen, right? I don't think he wasn't poised necessarily. I just don't think he knew how to handle the adrenaline. He was a little amped up, right? Mm-hmm. He didn't, rush any throws terribly. He didn't make any horrible decisions, at least as far as I remember. But when he missed just high or just wide, which tells me, okay, maybe he does have to handle expectations, be a little bit more poised. But it's also his first time in front of a crowd that big. It's a spring game. I can understand being a little bit amped up, a little bit jazzed, So that's where I'm at with those guys. Let's go to break. We got one more segment here during On the Block. Uncle Kevin Myers Cork and Bottle will be in here shortly. Big thanks to Nebco for their sponsorship of On the Block. We'll wrap it up after this. Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for ready mixed concrete, Husker concrete, and Beatrice concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Husker fans, get ready for another thrilling season at Hibner Stadium with the reigning Big Ten champion Nebraska soccer team. Season tickets for the 2024 season are on sale now. Don't miss your chance to support the Huskers as they go head-to-head with some of the top teams in the country, including Oklahoma State, Penn State, and Duke. Get your tickets today at huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
Get ready, Husker fans. The Big Red Preview is coming soon. Join us Saturday night, August 3rd, for an exclusive look at your Nebraska football team in action. Experience the excitement, the energy, the sights and sounds of a game day as the 2024 football season kicks off. Visit huskers.com/tickets and bring your family, friends, and all your Big Red pride to Memorial Stadium, Saturday night, August 3rd. That's huskers.com/tickets. Brought to you by Husker Athletics and 1890 Nebraska. Winning tradition, future success.
Join us on Monday, July 29th at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O to celebrate the company's 40th anniversary. Enjoy 40% off wings all day and your favorite sports talk hosts on air from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Come hang with us for the 40th anniversary party on Monday, July 29th at the 68th and O Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No tag-ons, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese Beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals. Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
What's your radon level at home? Don't know? Find out with a call to Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating, 467-1111 for radon testing and mitigation.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
And it's pretty much just lettuce, tomato, mayo, and bacon. I mean,
That's
you don't need to do
DLT.
much more. Yeah.
Bacon, lettuce, tomato. That's the crux.
This is groundbreaking.
That's the
Groundbreaking
crux
stuff
of the
here today
sandwich.
on the BLT.
That's the crux of it.
I never thought of it that way, but yeah, you're right.
But to have it,
What is the BLT?
what's the most important part is the bacon, the lettuce, and then the tomato.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's been good to be back here during On the Block. You'll see me, Austin Norman, and him, Eric Strickland, here for a little while longer for Thirsty Thursday. Appreciate you guys, your involvement on the text line YouTube stream as well. John says, regardless if Harburg starts at quarterback or not, he's too different of an athlete to not be on the field. Are you still team get Harburg on the field anyway, anyhow, Strick, or are you not sold after what you saw last year?
Oh man, I think he has the ability to do some things. I still think if you throw him in a hybrid position where you let him work against safeties and linebackers, man, to me, I could see him being better than Fedoni. And I mean,
he does have 2 working ACLs, so that helps.
I mean, I understand the injuries, but I'm just saying, if I want to really, like, if I'm Nebraska, right, and I just don't have the talent. You have talent, but I'm not saying no talent.
Not talent.
But I'm saying
talent.
like top tier talent, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you have to do to win? You're going to have to create nightmarish matchups, nightmarish. Whereas a team has got to consider, how are we going to stop that? And then you got to throw scheme at it, and you got to work at it.
And you have to execute every play.
You know what I mean? You want to be able to create that. This is what makes greats like, Tom Brady and even Mahomes. It's understanding where the matchups are going to be and how can I exploit it. He could be a mismatch type of player at the position. Banks can be. Jalen can be. These guys, put them in the slot with that kind of burner ability against internal secondary guys can be. So you've got to figure out if they're running these basic route patterns without misdirection type stuff. Whereas we're running right, flow right, and something's working backside with speed or with. If you're not on that, where eyes and safeties, and I think Dylan has that. I think he has the ability, which I didn't see from any of the others, to know how to look off safeties and get safety shifting and then work something back up a seam or back, with a tight end, just even get out there and spot. I mean, if I don't see any misdirections here, I think our offense is garbage, because that's where I think we messed up last year, is not creating mismatches when we could have had them, and then just not having any complexity to our offensive scheme.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I think you and I went back and forth on that as well, because if you have guys that are still learning positions, you can't give them too much too soon. But if you give them, the best matchup creatively, will they be in a better position to succeed? How much do you think they can handle mentally? You need to be more creative, but you also have to make sure you guys are running the right play and you're on the same page with their quarterback. As for Harburg, it seems like this staff thinks he's a quarterback, and that's fine. But then you have to understand who he is as a quarterback. I think he has to be either a drop back passer, like straight drop back passer, or you have to run him like Tim Tebow, right? All the option is fine. And I'm not saying Heinrich Harburg's not a good athlete. He's not shifty, right? He doesn't have the ability to stick his foot in the ground and make a guy miss, right? I want him going north and south. Any of this east and west doesn't work for him, because he holds the ball out, because he can't change direction that quickly. So if you're going to run him, it's quarterback power. It's between the tackles, maybe a zone read here or there where he just has one guy to read and beat. He needs to be able to plant his foot in the ground and go forward. The option running horizontal to the line of scrimmage, having to square up the shoulders. So I just don't think he was that quick with it, right? His nickname's H2, right? Like a Hummer. Yeah, that's how he moves, right? He's boxy. He can jump. He's explosive enough, but it's in that straight line, like you're saying, Strick. And I'm not saying that he can make a simple, smooth transition to tight end. I'm not saying he couldn't, but he's not a wide receiver. I don't think he has the hip flexibility or the footwork to do that. Way too tall to be a running back. Too tall to be a fullback, presumably, as well. So if you are going to use him, it's as a tight end. But even there, like, how great do you think he's going to be running routes? Like,
Well,
yeah,
that's
he's
what
tall.
I'm saying. Seam him because he's got speed.
But then
You
you're
have to seam him.
predictable.
You got to
know?
seam him or you dig him. Those are easy routes.
Sure.
You either seam him or dig him, or drag him, or you want something to where you get him catching the ball and being able to do what you said. Whoop, straight line, straight line, get straight north, whatever. You want to do things like that with him. Wheel route him. You know what I mean? Wheel him. Slant corners. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't have those, but he's straight. If you run him in motion, boom, give him a skinny to the post and hit him on a corner where you've got like maybe some form of a comeback on the outside where that safety kind of has to get down in there with a route or a receiver out to occupy either a cornerback or a linebacker, where now he's safety to the pylon. You know what I mean? He's safety on his back hip to the pylon with that type of speed and size and athleticism. I mean, that's the type of stuff I'd be doing with him because, like you said, I would even jet sweep him from the tight end position. The reason I'm saying that is you can jet sweep with some form of a trap block on the outside, right? Where you have the tackle with another end, or even if you spread him, where you're going to have a technique that's outside of that tackle, inside of that slot guy, and you start him on motion. Linebackers are starting to see that, know there's going to have to be that because they're going to have to get more heads over there. But you wham him, you push the other guy with either the end or because he's going to be rushing, you get enough close to him to just push him down before the jet, either run him underneath or you run him outside with that whim. Let him get speed and get out there and go. That's the things that I could see you doing with him. Get creative. Not a large package, but something.
Let's pause 10 quick seconds for station ID here on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
I like what you're saying. I see where you're going. I just don't think the staff's going to do that. I think they view him as a quarterback. So
it's a mistake, I think.
If they were going to switch him, wouldn't have had to happen last year?
Just think about like McCaffrey. I think he could be that good. I think he's athletic enough, but I think you're wasting him because ultimately your whole package has got to change. Kalen and Rhule, I think, have similar type packages. I think Harburg, your whole package has to change because guess what? There are going to be games of pressure, and I don't know if he's as comfortable yet to be able to make plays and stay within himself with mechanics. It's just like golf. When it's tight, you got to hit a shot. You need to dial one in. Sometimes you tend to just do a little something just different. You don't stay in the same swing plane. You just, I got to make this shot.
But that's the point. Those guys when they tell themselves they have to dial it in, they overthink. Natural guys, when they have to dial it in, it doesn't even look like they're dialing it in because they've been dialed in the whole time. It's more of the same, right? They're not doing that extra like you're saying.
Yeah. And I just don't know if he's there yet.
And see, I think the time to move him would have been last year. You needed someone at quarterback, right? I get it. I mean, he and Sims are similar-ish build, but if you're thinking big picture, and obviously Dylan Rhule wasn't on the radar at this point, right? It took some work to get back into that. But if you thought Jeff Sims was your quarterback, you knew you were going to get a couple high school guys, to sit behind him for hopefully a year. Last year would have been the time to move him, right? To give him a head start. It's too late in the process to move him now.
I agree.
Far too late.
That's why I say it can't be a wide package. It's got to be just some small package. But I think you want to use him because I think Nebraska needs that. Nebraska needs these misdirection type situations, but somebody that can execute them. I don't think Fedoni has enough speed. I think Carter Nelson possibly
but he's starting at wide receiver
right now. You see
now.
what I'm saying? So I think, there's so many trick things that you can do when you have a quarterback. Just look at how sometimes Taysom Hill and they were able to use different packages to create situations down at New Orleans. I think you don't want to just waste him sitting over there, because I don't think he's good enough to play quarterback, to be honest.
I feel you. I'm with you there. Mud Dog brings up a couple points here on the text line. I believe they used him as a tight end last year, and he actually caught the first pass of the season. That's true. They did. But you don't give him that much of a runway to learn tight end by doing it now. He also, Mud Dog also says, use him in the Blake Bell role as quarterback. Also, I think you can sub-package some things with him at tight end, flexed out in slot or as H-back. I agree. He's not good enough at quarterback to be the long-term answer or starter. But with so little runway, is it worth the risk? Right? If he's not spending all that time training at a different position, I don't think he's such a special athlete that you need to have sub packages. If you're not going to use him there consistently, if it's for a play or two, I say throw the whole thing out the window and work on developing as a passer. You're going to need all those reps possible, because Dylan's not taking every snap this year. Heinrich's not taking every snap this year. If you think Heinrich's a quarterback, don't waste his time on one or two packages. Either make him go all in on a different position, or he's all in at quarterback. That's where I'm at with it.
Okay. I agree more with Mississippi Mud Dog, but I mean, I see your point. I get it. I understand it. I'm able to step outside myself and get it. I just think it's a waste. But I understand your point. If you're one way or the other, I do think it is late in the game. But that's the question. I'd be sitting down with him in the office and saying, "Hey, do you really believe that?" This goes back to the thing that I've said before. Listeners, follow me on this one. I know you'll feel me. Here's what I said. I said, I honestly think Harburg, I would sit down with him if I was a coaching staff, and I would have had real questions. What do you want to do after your college career? Do you not want to play football at the next level? And, how do you really envision yourself fitting within, this program? And if the first two answers aren't, I see myself as an NFL quarterback, or I see myself, in this manner, or I want to play professionally. If he answers those questions like that, you have to switch him. He's not an NFL quarterback. So these are the questions that I would have been sitting down with him and having. And I said, what do you want to do with your next level of participation as a pro? If you don't have no interest in doing that, cool, quarterback till you die. If you do, then we need to have discussions, because that's where you need to make the switch.
I get you. Mud Dog also says, don't forget they brought in the NAIA dude, Jalen Gramstad, so Harburg can do more things without the fear of getting him hurt. Taysom Hill is the comparison, right? I think that, Blake Bell got brought up, but people know the name Taysom Hill a little bit more. Taysom Hill was more of a quarterback in college than he was in the NFL. What benefit did the Saints get out of Taysom Hill? The versatility comes into play more with a constricted roster, more than an expanded roster. And to your point, Strick, make him make a decision, have that conversation with him. That's what I'm saying. Don't waste his time. If you don't think he's an NFL quarterback and he doesn't want to be one, why is he a college quarterback? That's where I'm at with it. So there's just so little utility from that positional overlap. Like Travis Hunter, I get it, right? Wide receiver, DB, a guy that, has hands like that, range like that, athletic skills like that. Sure, fine. But there's, I think, a clear value picture on both sides of the ball rather than trying to play two positions on one side of the ball. That's just my couple thoughts. Hey, get Stricky. Guess who's pulling up outside?
Yeah, Uncle Kevy.
He is indeed.
My guy.
Thirsty Thursday leads us off for Old School. Big thanks to Nebco for sponsoring the show. We will be back tomorrow, a full 2 hours right here from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock Central Time. We'll see if any of the crew's back in the building tomorrow. If they all dip out, take the Friday off, we'll have to see. Thanks for sticking with us here during On the Block. It's good to get back in the saddle. Appreciate your texts, your comments all over. Don't go anywhere, though. We got Old School coming up next, led off by Thirsty Thursday.